that was. I'd like to just tell again, thought our fans were fantastic today. Appreciate everybody for being here, and just thought it was a wonderful day. It was a lot of fun. It's been a really fun spring. You guys were just talking to Ben just in regards to he's talking about guys celebrating and whatnot. But we've had a ton of energy and great passion all spring. I thought the coaching staff did a really good job of getting that out of our guys, and our guys showing up with the right attitude and mindset all spring. I appreciate all the players' hard work, just attacking the spring and having great self-awareness where we all need to get better and putting their heads down and going to work. So fantastic, group of practices. Felt we got a lot accomplished. I thought older guys that we're counting on that have proven themselves showed up with a hungry mindset with something to prove, and thought guys got better. And then I thought a lot of young guys, again, had 34 newcomers here for the first time that showed up, got exposed like you want them to, showed up hungry, and really have a great appreciation for how our guys, the young guys, fought back all spring. And a lot of times young guys will get overwhelmed, and just didn't see that collectively as a group. And so really pleased with a tough-mindedness of that group of guys, and again, got a lot of work to do. But this was getting to this point is something that was important, where we feel like we got better, installed the offense, and really it's been a work in progress since January. The chemistry, the cohesion of the staff, I think that's really important, something that we don't take for granted. And I thought the staff did a really good job of building relationships and getting to know one another. And again, at the end of the day, the players are the benefactors, of cohesion there. If you want your players to be close, if you want the team to be close, and the staff needs to, be a reflection of that. And so I thought the staff did a really good job of that. But offensively, I thought, again, we got into a great rhythm during the course of the spring. You would never have known this was their first spring together, I'll be honest. And maybe some of that it was John and, being with Ben at Washington State. And so the familiarity, they hit the ground running. So they did a wonderful job, as far as installing, walking through, getting the players to play with confidence and, not trying to figure things out day to day. They were really ahead of schedule. For most of the spring. Had a lot of back and forth during the spring in regards to competition, and that's what you want. Guys got, took one to, the chops. They were able to give it back, and that's what you want them to do, be able to push back, and we were able to do that. I thought the goal is you want to start to establish, an identity with your team, and that'll be something that is continued to develop, throughout the course of the summer, and once we get back together in fall camp, and establish a mental and a physical toughness that you want to be about. And we had several guys that, as we talked about when we started spring ball, that we're able to get them some surgeries to get cleaned up from last season, and so to get those guys back here in the summer with our guys will be a great thing. But I thought it gave a lot of younger players a great opportunity to get out and get some real experience with the first and the second group of players. Giovanni Gibson, I just saw him, and I had a surgery a couple of days ago, and I got rolled up on in practice, unfortunately. But again, just stays on schedule. He'll be back to start the season and be back with us. So similar injury to Kendall Dolby, not quite severe, but Kendall, we probably could have had him going a month ago, but we chose to hold him out here this spring. Has recovered really nicely. So that I'll open it up.
Giovanni, a broken leg?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He talked about a lot of that, about the competition and things like that. You always throw aggressive defense at them. How much did that help them, in your opinion, knowing that you guys were going to come out them and stall that offense?
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't think that they saw, what they saw this spring will help them, what they're going to see, in the fall. And they won't see anything in the fall they probably haven't already been exposed to. So certainly that's going to be, good for them.
Brent, what have you learned about Ben Arbuckle in these
Well,
months
again,
you've been together?
I love his passion, his energy, confidence. He's a great teacher. He's a connector of people. He's just a relationship builder, did a great job right away of earning the trust of the players, getting to know them, being thoughtful and patient, developing real relationships that mean something. And I think to really get the most out of guys as a coach, I think that's part of it, developing that, relationship. And then, again, same thing with the staff, getting them to understand everybody's got to be a teacher in their own space. But I thought he did a really good job of teaching the staff, what he wanted and getting that from them. And then being a great example, of what, he talked about that up here, having energy and passion and enthusiasm for the game, for the little wins along the way. There's a whole bunch of them. And I think sometimes we as coaches can get in too big of a hurry, and not celebrate the success along the way. And again, I think it's important when you're talking about a group of guys, some of the guys coming back, that were scarred up from a year ago. And that's part of the healing process, I believe, to help these guys gain confidence, not false confidence, confidence through the work and through success. And just affirming the players along the way. He did a great job of that. But great humility, but great confidence, smart guy, and makes everybody around him better. He's a real competitor.
Brent, kind of the same question. What have you learned about John these last few months, especially now on the practice field? It seems like he's an easy guy for guys to follow.
Yeah, he's very comfortable in his own skin. Not trying to be anybody but himself. He's the same guy every day. Loves to compete. He loves the locker room. He loves, relationships. He's a great competitor, and everything matters to him. He's a detailed guy. He cares about, his teammates and his coaches. He's going to fight for his guys every day, and he takes responsibility even when it's not his fault. So he's got broad shoulders, great mental and physical toughness. And he's a very talented guy as well.
Brent, what's it been like having Kevin Wilson just back on the practice field, and how much has he contributed to that offensive line group?
Yeah, it's good. In his Kevin's a guy that has tremendous experience. Certainly here at Oklahoma, he's a really good football coach. Knows the game. He's a good relationship guy. Great staff teammate. The coaches on the staff, certainly some of them already knew him. So I think transitioning, it was pretty simple. I thought, we've got a humble staff that doesn't feel like they know it all. And so in the natural, organic ways that you would want it to work out, you hope that it does, able to learn, from each other. But Kevin's just here to support those guys. Jumped right in. I think Bill put him to work, and just to be another set of eyes and ears and another voice for what Coach Bedenbaugh wants done. But for me, he's another set of eyes, just holistically looking at everything. And he knows what winning and success looks like. And so he's a really honest guy, and he's a tough guy. And so he'll be a good, resource for us, moving forward.
Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
You good?
If Ben was talking earlier about coming to Oklahoma, one of the things he learned about was the expectations at OU. He's bringing with him a quarterback that only, led the nation in touchdowns last year and top 5 in total yards. Is that expectation unrealistic for either media or fans or coaches that he can do that kind of thing at Oklahoma?
I think I've probably said this many times. I'm not a big expectation guy because I think it comes from everybody else, which is fine. I mean, that comes with it. But I think we just focus on our standards, and we got to get back to the standard of playing the kind of offense that's been here for a long, long time. And that is the standard. And so anything below that would be a disappointment. And but you got to take your next step, your first step, and really excited about, again, how we've got the plane off the ground, and and having a good spring and an established, how we do what we do, and the what we do and the X's and the O's, but the passion, the energy, the physical toughness, the detail, the precision, the cohesion, the aggressiveness, in their philosophy, the depth of what they do. Really loved all of it, and so I think that's where the focus is internally. And then, now again, taking the next step, what the summer program, what that needs to look like. And obviously we work with them during the course of the summer to some degree as well, and developing an identity. And that'll continue to happen too, as we'll get some other guys back that were banged up. I think this will be the best offensive line group as a whole. May not have the depth of experience necessarily. I don't know what that looks like compared to what our first 3 years look like, but this, the depth and the offensive line, the bodies, the ability of this group is, the best that we've had, and then we'll get Howland and Ozida and Autry and Afalava back, as well, to join the group of guys that you saw out there. Really like the direction that group is heading in.
Do you remember a point in camp where you were that part that just kind of clicked with you, like, okay, the direction is where I want to see this going on offense?
I don't know. You take it in bits and pieces because the focus, you're installing the whole time. And so you take it in bits and pieces, and the things that we're doing, I don't know the exact moment, but, they've gotten into a rhythm, different practices, different situationals. We worked a ton of situationals, every situational you can think of. We certainly worked it. And there's plenty of moments where they had great success, but I think here in the last week, running the ball, getting vertical and downhill, being physical, and just everybody playing together, as far as the offensive unit, tight ends, tackles, guards, quarterback, backs. And really, I'm excited about the things that we saw. And again, not everybody's there yet, too. So that's encouraging as well. But lots of different moments, Kerry, to answer your question, where you're like, okay, I thought we threw the ball and caught the ball as well as we have since I've been here. If you said something about something that stood out in the spring, very few balls on the ground, top to bottom, throughout the course of the spring. So. I thought they did a great job at getting the quarterbacks to throw with, precision and confidence. And again, you look at that group. I mean, you look at that group at quarterback or at wide receiver, or at tight end, the additions on the offensive line, you see transformation, that completely different, groups and what they look like, just a few short months ago. And so that's what the focus was. But whether it's Cole Gonzalez or it's an enhanced version of Michael Hawkins and the improvement that he's made, he made more improvement, in the last, several weeks than he did all last year, in my opinion. And you would expect him to take another big leap, just being a true freshman last year and all that he was exposed to, and then picking up a new offense. I thought he did a great job. I thought the staff did a great job. Coach Coos and Coach Arbuckle did a wonderful job of, developing the confidence in him. You saw Cole Gonzalez. Man, he can really play. He can spin it. And he just played a lot of football. And then, again, Jet New, same thing. He had a really, nice spring, as well, being able to execute the offense.
I know it's early days. What is the collaboration with Jim Nagy and you guys and the coaches? As that kind of becomes an important thing over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so that's an ongoing process. Just, he's hiring his staff, doing a great job there, getting all of his people in place. And I think he's got a few more spots still to fill. Getting to know the staff. And getting to know the boards, the 26, the 27, the 28 class, getting to know the roster. I think he's, spending a lot of time building, trust and relationships with the guys in the locker room. That's really important. And then the staff learning, the processes on how, the new evaluation process, what that's going to look like, and the alignment of the communication, and just so many systems and things of that nature that everybody's getting familiar with. and but he's doing a great job of being in a million places at once, and putting the focus on the 26 class, our current roster. You got a transfer portal that's getting ready to open up, and address whatever needs that might come from there. And again, finding if there are any holes, that making sure that whoever it is that comes in, if anybody, that they can make us better. And so you don't know a whole lot about that yet, about who's available and things of that nature. So, but there's a lot that goes into it. But it's been a lot of fun, I'll be honest. And again, educational for the staff. Staff's hungry to continue to find ways to improve and get better in this space. And so I really feel like we have, the resources to be able to do that, and the vision and the leadership to be able to do that with Jim and the guys that he's been able to bring in.
Right. With the portal window about to open up, how do you see just overall how the team's going to attack that?
Yeah, again, you're looking at probably every position on your team. You say, well, we could use another guy there, or that you really could. And so we have our priorities, and really don't want to talk through those right now, and see if we find anybody that can meet the needs and make us better immediately. That can make a difference on the team. Where we might need some help. And so we'll look at everything and see what's available.
Do you feel like you're holding out? What are your thoughts on renegotiating, that kind of thing?
I don't know. I haven't had to address anything like that. I don't know. A nightmare. I don't know. I've never been through anything like that. So
Does it make you feel good that you have like a front office developing that might be able to handle that, so it doesn't?
Yeah, I think that's you want to be out in front of everything. I think being proactive, and I think retention is the most important part of the whole puzzle. And I think it starts inside out, and you want to develop a locker room that has continuity, consistency, stability, that's healthy to be successful. And I think if you look at our roster just and the numbers that we've signed, each year it's gone down. And that's ideally what you want. You're going to have some fluidity. That's just the nature of where we're at today. And but you want guys that are sprinkled throughout your roster that have been here 3, 4, 5 years. In a perfect world, you want a roster that has somewhere in that 75 to 25, 80 to 20, high school to to portal range. I think that's a philosophy that we all believe in from a continuity standpoint. And but the front office is there to try to be, again, your headlights, and to be, again, proactive, and to anticipate, and to have on-hand management when it comes to, again, the fluidity and the ability to adapt and pivot at any step along the way.
On your defensive side, what did you see in terms of the growth? Billy and Danny are gone. That. So your leadership and things, what did you think of your defense this spring?
Yeah, I was really proud, again, the work that guys put in, and the improvement that I saw from players that returned with experience, with Kip and Kobe and Sammy. I talked about Kendall Daniels and what he brought to that group. I thought Grayson Halton, he missed part of winter conditioning. He had an appendicitis, and then had a little knee scope that he had cleaned up from the season. But once he got back out there for spring ball, man, he's really stepped into a leadership role. He's passionate. He loves to compete, loves to play, loves the locker room, loves the huddle. So he's a lot of fun, but he's not trying to be a funny guy. And so he's matured, and we need that. I think if you're going to be worth a dang on defense, you got to be great up the middle. And I'm not sure if we're going to be great yet or not. We'll find out in time. But with him and Dom Williams and Jaden Jackson and David Stone, Trent Wilson, amongst others, Marcus Strong really took another step in his maturation and growth and development. Really pleased with that group of guys. The ownership that those guys have taken. And, I thought our Mason Thomas had his best, couple of months of ball and leadership, all of it, combined, and where he's a quiet guy by nature, but I think he took a real step forward that, you got to get out of his comfort zone and raise the level of the players around him, and, get players to follow your lead. and he was healthy all spring. He had a fantastic spring, got better. And then Taylor Wine, I'm really excited about Taylor. I'm really excited about Danny Okoye, the improvement that those guys made through a lot of hard work and strain. And PJ Adebayo, he's healthy and he's able to keep his weight up and is playing with a lot of confidence right now. Really like that group of players combined with the other guys. And we kept Dolby out. He's as competitive of a football player as we have on our whole team. Everybody loves Kendall Dolby, everybody. And so he has a great presence that wasn't out there, and he did it in his own way. And he practiced all spring. We just kept him out of all of the team stuff. It probably could have been, he would have had a green light probably 3-4 weeks ago. And really like where he's at right now as well. We kept Gentry Williams out and Peyton Bowen. Those are three really good players and guys that we're really counting on to keep those guys healthy as well. Again, I talked about Peyton Bowen, just had a turf toe that nagged him the whole season last year. And then Gentry, just trying to keep him out of harm's way with the shoulder. Had a shoulder surgery last year as well. But Jacoby Johnson took a big step, had a really consistent spring. And remember, he's playing country cover 3 just a few years ago, majored as an offensive player, fantastic receiver in high school that's learning how to play corner, and a lot goes into that. And he's really come a long way. He's really excited about what he's been able to do. And Day Jordan had another good spring as well. Cortland Gilroy, Malik Hawkins, some young guys. J.J. Newcomb, he's a pit bull out there, loves to compete. Probably missing somebody, but that group of guys really excited. And our safeties, we've got some really good, young safeties. RJ had a great spring. Stepping into a leadership role. Can't be everybody's friend. You just need to challenge your teammates, tell your teammates the truth, hold them to a high standard, and make guys uncomfortable when you need to. Got to be comfortable in that role, being a leader. And that's what Billy would tell everybody the truth. And Billy was a multiplier. Billy made everybody better. And he had his own staff meeting with the players often. And he loved to practice and compete to a standard every single day. And so I need these new guys, or the guys that all the guys I've been talking about, to be able to step into that role. If we're going to become the kind of defense that we need to become to win in the league that we got to win in a one-possession league with an unforgiving, week in and week out schedule, and that's what it's going to take. And but RJ had a really good spring, and then I love Jaden Hardy and Reggie Powers and Michael Boganowski, that group of guys, along with, again, we got Man Robinson and Marcus Wimberly, some new young safeties. Pete Shue had a really good spring, got better, but I love that group of guys. They come to compete every day. They're a lot of fun. They love to work, love to grind, and it's not year in and year out. You're not always going to have that, but we've got the depth of a group of players that show up with passion and energy and toughness that you want them to, and let you coach them hard. And so that gets you excited, about what's in front of us right now, and challenge about, where we're at in special teams. And I think that'll go into the summer, and we got to continue to improve there as well. And I've talked about this before, and last year was last year, but we had a top 10 defense, efficiency defense, and top 15 special teams, unit efficiency-wise. And, 3 teams in college football had that in Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. But we were historically poor on offense, and they both had offenses that were good enough, obviously, to play for a national championship. And so really excited about the opportunity to get back into playing the kind of offense that we need to continue to improve, on defense and the special teams, and feel really good, going into, the out of season.
Last question. How do you feel about your special teams and the kicking game coming out of this spring?
Yeah, again, like our, the body of work that we put in this spring, and like the best version that I saw with punting and kicking was good, and the worst version was not good. So still uneven. It was still a battle going into the summer, and got We had some windy conditions out there today. That's good because we know it's going to blow. The wind's going to blow in the fall here, especially in this stadium. So you got to be able to kick in whatever conditions there are. I think go back to 2000 when I think was it Tim Duncan that kicked a knuckleball to help us pull away from Kansas State 27-24 in Kansas City on a cold December night, in windy, snowy conditions. So that's just what is required at that position, and so excited to see those guys grow and improve and get better.